Mhm. Hello, hello, hello. This is about, I told you the title of Epstein Files. So, bottom line it out, the Epstein Files um, was about that man Epstein being in my business, him and Donald Trump now. And a lot of things had perspired. It had already been happening too. And they were trying to act as though I was the subject of the investigation. I was a subject because I was the one being victimized, okay, and lied to by government officials about the kidnapping of me from Jamaica. From my grandma grave, the United States government did that. My mom and dad didn't kidnap me. How in the world? People just messing stuff up. But the point is that I became well to do on my own. I became a doctor, a doctor, attorney, judge, all this stuff. Outstanding business person, outstanding doctor, outstanding person in law enforcement. Every career, everything I ever did, I did correctly and made better. Okay. Now, but the point is this now. It's about everything I own. It's about my children, about the lies, the thefts, the forgery, people I did not even put in place, and things that I own. A lot of things came back because I did hire somebody that wanted to correct stuff, you know. Had to end up doing a lot of stuff over because people was crashing me. That's what I said, crashing me on purpose. There's a difference between a crash and a crush. The crash was people who was actually hired to do certain jobs within businesses I had, and they were just really stealing. Stole to the ultimate, stole until the ultimate of whereas that even inventory and all that was gone. I had to rebuild certain businesses that I had, certain segments. What I mean by that, certain places where what cities it might have been in, the town it was in, the village it was in, whatever highway sector you might have passed through, it was in. You know, the Epstein files are totally about, like I said, theft, lies, forgery, chaos, gang activity. hmm Or some of the people that was acting like they was part of gangs and child molestation, rape, kidnapping, hmm and a lot of other things. hmm Yeah, that's what the Epstein files was about. He went to the government with a bunch of crap, lies, even about tariffs and all that type stuff that they really quite didn't understand themselves. I had already revised everything. They was trying to make it seem like everything I did was wrong, and no, it wasn't. These people in society ain't mad. Are y'all mad because y'all get earned income credit? Are you mad because you get an extra tax deduction about taking care of your parents or somebody in your household, although they do receive a government check? Hmm. Are you upset that when you buy stuff from overseas and they come to the United States, or are you upset that it's cheaper? You know? Or are you upset about things getting better? Or you too may be a foreigner like me. Or are you upset because somebody found you somewhere that you shouldn't have been? Somebody might have harbored you and made you come to the United States, packed you in a car, in a box or something. Are you upset that you were found and put in safety? Are you upset? I doubt it. Are you upset because I made some medical stuff better? You upset that I made laws better? Are you upset because I came up with a program for people who can barely pay their utilities? You know? I know y'all not upset about none of the good things I done did for society that also helped you all too. The Epstein files was about they was trying to get over. They kept trying to prove or make me tick, and I realized I was just born a wonderful child, obedient no matter what I went through. And I continued and finished what I started. I took accelerated classes to be a physician. I excelled, graduated top of my class the same way when I went to school to be an attorney. Nothing filed there. Hmm. But that's what it was about. They was trying to figure out what made me tick while they was stealing at the same time. But they was committing forgery and lying. And they was just putting people in their place to see. So when the Epstein files start coming to a close, all y'all been exposed. It was the point of connection. What about this on? What about that on? What about that on? What made them think they could run what's mine? Stuff I didn't approve of, people spending my money. I didn't hire none of those people to do payroll at Disney and at Universal. So, I never hired those people to do that stuff at Warner Brother. And that's when we came into Jerry Springer and Steve, not Steve Harvey, Ellen DeGeneres. A lot of big names y'all been seeing out there. A lot of people. Too much trash talking from Whoopi Goldberg. When she ain't had nothing to do with nothing, she just put herself in stuff. She did something wrong, didn't she, though? She felt guilty to the point where I had fired her. When they kept saying Whoopi Goldberg was leaving off, yeah, I was dismissing her. Yeah, I was kicking her off. Just like Jerry Springer, you know. Everybody already knew what was going on there. But people had told me when I hired him, way back before the Jerry Springer show started, he was already on crap. I had already busted him with his prejudice self. Do you hear me? Because why in the world, when he first started, He really just wanted to cater to the white audience for real. He was getting my story ideas off the stuff I was also doing. My stories was real. That stuff was fake. He was telling all those people to do all that stuff. hmm Oprah Winfrey was involved in the Epstein and Tyler Perry and them and everything. They hearing about all the stuff going on. They just added more and more people. And then people gonna try to bring up the Illuminati stuff. Mm. The pyramid schemes and all this other stuff go together. That's them. You know, the Illuminati stuff is not what you think, and not what they was telling people. That's why I was telling. Yeah, Tupac was involved to a certain extent. Like he just got away from himself. He gained a little knowledge. He ain't dumb, but he was lacking knowledge on certain stuff. How you make a song about something you quite don't understand? It didn't have to. It didn't have nothing to do with what you think. Those people were out to try to find people who had money and wealth and try to make them be around them, and they get in your business and steal from you. Try to corrupt you. Try to get at your family to make you quit being so successful. Telling your business and all that type of stuff, your financial stuff. That's why it's obvious. And they want somebody else to take the downfall for what they was doing. The Epstein man was a real case, and it went too far because they played the buddy buddy system within the government. They was the ones bashing out. They were saying God has a place in everybody's life and everything that goes on in society. Mm. But that's what it's about your faith, your future standbys, and same way Paris Hilton family was involved in that. That family, they poor. Them places that Paris Hilton act like she own, that's my stuff. It's coming to an end. hmm Those my hotels. Those my convention centers. I made a reservation at my convention center in New Orleans for a suite. I'm like, okay, I paid the $5,000 because me and my kids is going to go down there. I get a call. I'm calling them. They was like, "This your convention center?" I said, "It sure is." Oh, they was like, "Well, Paris Hilton them had." Oh, they was all in the system. They took my $5,000 reservation and stole my $5,000 and took the reservation off of her for that suite. Per request. Birdman told them to do that, and the real Juven. And guess who was in that room? Unpaid for Jacquees, because all of them are doing what they do. Paris Hilton with her nasty self. She was dealing with Star now, man. I just gotta bring this up. I know this is off the subject, but ooh, if you're ever having sex with someone and something is coming out their body of a different color, through their vaginal area or their penis, ooh, yellow and green and whatever, and stinking. Ooh-wee. Mm, yeah, that's when them tricks and clams and all them the trichomonas come in, chlamydia and whatever else can be going on. Best believe it's a STD, and it's been sitting there for a while. Mm, okay. They want me to stay on her for a little longer. Okay. So all these people that put their John Hancocks on my money, on my companies, and I only had a few things that's I be trying to say stuff without being so. Everything I have 100% belongs to me. Okay, when I said I had investors, it's like people like I don't have shareholders or nothing like that. Okay. So when people purchase into McDonald's, as you know, some of the McDonald's I'm 100% owner of, and other people purchased into the franchise. That's why they say they're investors, because they invested in themselves and into something that's a continuous growth and something that people love. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when it came to, I own Red Robin, I own White Castle, whether y'all didn't know or not, and a lot of other fast. I own a majority of the fast food restaurants, just to be honest. Okay, and all of them are not franchises, you know. But see, I had to get on my people at White Castle because them little burgers costing too much. And then I know I done took a lot of loss. See, when you have people, see, there I go again. There go people I didn't put in position to do those things. I didn't tell y'all to change no prices or nothing in a long time. That's why I have a lot of buy one get one frees at McDonald's. You know, and then you know how sometimes you order stuff on DoorDash, you done made the mark for free delivery, all that type stuff, and you might get a message that says spend another $3, and we'll knock off the $5. What it is, your other item that you put on there for that $3, you basically ain't spending it. It's basically like a free gift anyway. Cause you'll be like, well, it said this, I get this, and then sometime it'll come up like you'll be like, it said a discount, so why I'm getting charged for this? Or I ain't, but make sure you look at your discounts, look at everything. Cause I own DoorDash too, and I own Uber Eats, I own Lyft, you know, Uber, you know, a lot of stuff that you use, I own. But all this came in into the fact of the Epstein files. People were stealing my furniture. I had my furniture I was having coming in. I own some good stores where the furniture is 100% leather and all this stuff you can get made or buy what's on the floor. You know, that's why a lot of people that do have the money to buy what they want because they earned it, worked for it, or whatever. Somebody might have left it to them in the will. And some of the stuff they have is authentic and they know it. Special made. That's how I used to catch people up too. You ever went on here and you'll see, you might went through TikTok and you see some people building some furniture and the place is called Muse, MUSE. That's my company. I got some great builders. You see how them big old slack sails on that bed and all this type stuff, that big old thick wood. Yeah. Of course I had it first. Of course, some of our employees made something for their family first, and we was just, to bring business in, you know. But the Epstein files is a lot of this stuff that was going on. They thought they could be able to shift paperwork into seeing like as if I was doing wrongdoing or something. All the time it was them. And I told them when they was doing it, oh, I welcome the investigation, whatever he turned in, but I guarantee it's gonna blow up in their face because it was them. The last part of the thing is, since I've been down here in Florida today, the year is 2026. Okay, this one about me, 2025, all that stuff. Way back when I lived on my property at 104 North 12th Street. You know, everybody was getting crushed. So all these new hires had to come in. Everybody was like, was she a whistleblower or something? Y'all, I was a victim. I was being victimized the whole time. Because these people nosy and thought they was getting in where they fit in and thought they was getting away with something. Even to the point that, shoot, I'm sitting around there, people couldn't even identify me when I was around, when I was looking good or looking bad. They know them people didn't know me for real. And all government buildings always had cameras, audio and video. And they know my very presence around. Cause they gonna call me while if they somebody say I'm there, or I'm gonna call them and let them know I am where I am. You know? Okay. Now this is the end.